Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. This video right here, though, is going to be about a pastor on the street that was working in education inside a prison and raped a male inmate. Nobody is safe, just like that thumbnail says. You got predators and prey, from the staff to the inmates. You know, I've told y'all the stories about inmates getting beaten and things like that. Some of y'all have heard the stories about low CI. There was a woman at low CI who was paralyzed after she was beaten by guards. One of the guards that beat her was arrested for molesting a family member, a female family member. And this has been going on since she was a young girl. Shit is fucking crazy. These are the type of people getting hired into the Florida Department of Corrections because it doesn't take anything to work there. They're desperate, they need people, and they take what they can get and they leave the motherfuckers in there, right? So this dude, Antonio Carlisle, I don't know how the fuck to say his name, right? But Tonio, this sick motherfucker that be up in the church, all that shit, right? Done raped a male inmate. But not only that, he had a sex charge previously.
A Lake City pastor charged with raping an inmate at Florida State Prison. 45-year-old Antonio Carlisle was also employed as the education supervisor at the prison in Rayford prior to his arrest on sexual battery charges 10 days ago.
So we learned last week when all this was breaking that Carlisle was accused of a similar crime back in 2003. According to an arrest report from 2002, the sexual battery occurred here, inside Carlisle's Jacksonville home near McCoy's Creek, where a male victim claims Carlisle and another man held him down while the second man sexually assaulted the victim for 5 minutes.
And the reason that he wasn't convicted on it is because they felt that there wasn't enough evidence. But in this case, they have DNA evidence linking him to what happened, the inmate that he did whatever to, sexual battery, rape, whatever the exact charges. That person told on him first quarter, right? One of the most humbling things about prison is when you realize that there are people that can not only rape you and kill you, but can kill better than you, can fight better than you, are physically stronger than you. Even if you're jacked up fucking Wes Watson, there's people that have better skills with a knife than you. There are people that are on different levels. You know, when you got fighting, you got street beefs, and then you got the UFC. And inside of prison, you will meet people that even though you think you're big and bad, or if I sneak up and I hit him in the neck, I'm gonna get him. You have people that are better than you. And that was one of the most humbling things to me about prison was I realized I don't have a gun in here. I don't. And even if I have a knife, there's a chance you take this knife from me and put it inside of me. When you see someone's face that's been raped inside of prison, and when I say rape, not everything is meant to be sexual. Some things are meant to be degrading. Like when you get raped with a broomstick inside of prison. That's not because the person doing it is getting a sexual satisfaction. It's because the person that's doing it wants to degrade you, wants you to feel less than. Sometimes they want to punish you. Maybe you have a sex charge. Maybe you're in an opposite gang and they're going to blow your intestines out of your stomach. Whatever it is, this is a reality in Florida State Prison. You don't believe me? Do your research. Then you have the sexual predators, the guys that thrive on this, that like that adrenaline rush, that like taking over somebody and conquering them and having sex with them, whether they're alive or dead, because you do have people that will kill you in confinement and fuck you after. It's insane, right? Maybe stuff like this is why a lot of my videos don't get monetized, but I've always felt that the shock and awe and the authenticity of the stories that I tell is what is going to keep someone out of prison, because I was never into the whole scared straight shit. Oh, we're gonna get up in your face. That doesn't do anything. What you're trying to do is you're trying to intimidate somebody that already has a chip on their shoulder. So the whole time you're trying to intimidate them, they're thinking, oh, I'm tougher than you. Oh, I'll kill you. Oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll do that. You really have to find out how to humble somebody. And to humble somebody, you have to expose their weaknesses in a way that they don't feel weak. I don't want you to feel weak. But I want you to understand that there's somebody that's out there for you. And that whatever you do, they do it better than you. I don't want to intimidate you. I want you to respect life and respect choices and decisions. And have the understanding that your choices and decisions can land you in a position where you either have to take life or become a victim. And that is something that everybody deals with in the prison system, regardless of the state. If something happens, you either have to take life or become a victim. I was blessed that I was never put in the room with one of these people. We had a guy at ACI named Caveman. He was a Crip, known for knocking people out and raping them. You know what I mean? There's so many different people inside of the Florida Department of Corrections that get off on this shit. And a lot of them have release dates. But a lot of people don't understand how easy it is to become a victim. Size doesn't matter. The weights don't matter. None of that matters. It's just really a matter of circumstance. It doesn't even matter if you're a gang member. You got people that will target the gang members. It really makes no difference. There is nothing about you, your race, anything that will stop you. Now in Florida, it's more likely that the whites are going to go through it. As far as extortion, color didn't matter. If you're pussy, you're going to break it off and we're going to come get that. That's just how it was, sad to say. But you have a lot of these same people, jizzles, whatever, that will become forced to take part in whatever these sexual predators want to put them through. It'll start off as extortion for money, and then it'll become sexual. And then you have these kids getting diseases, and they get out on the streets, and they start spreading these diseases because they're not gay. They're just too soft to kill. So, they got to deal with what they got to deal with. And you see them inside of prison and, you see the expression on their face. You see the pain that they're going through. You see what it is. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to put your life on the line for someone that's not willing to do the same for you? Are you going to rock for somebody that won't rock for themselves? See, that's the idea of the gangs, is being against oppression, right? But you also have to draw a line as to what you will and won't accept. Will I go to war about this? Will I go to war about that? So everybody in prison is against oppression, but everyone also picks and chooses which oppression or oppressors that they're against. Because you'll have certain individuals in gangs that partake in this shit. You'll have booty bandits that are in gangs. And if there's someone getting extorted for their ass, they're all over that. But they'll be the same one that says they're against the oppression by the police. Well, the police isn't fucking you. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're doing to him. And like I said, this is important to hear and it's fucked up to talk about. But it is a reality in Florida State Prison. They say that the two states that have the highest number of sexual assaults inside of prison, Texas being the first, Florida being the second. I forget the exact 3 compounds, but it was Santa Rosa, Appalachia CI, and one other that had the most highest inmate on inmate sexual assaults in the whole Florida prison system. These are rapes. These are all of that shit. The broomsticks. Oh, Lake Butler was the other one. ACI, Santa Rosa, Lake Butler. Now, when I told y'all way early on when I popped this YouTube shit off, there was a chomo at Lake Butler. He was probably 18, 19. The CO opened up the cell door, and the cleaning crew went in there and they hit him with a broomstick, and now he's on a shit bag. You know what I'm saying? Like Lake Butler, before they took down the mortality page, which I heard they put back up, almost everyone that dies at Lake Butler, if you check their charges, they're sex offenders. And that's because the COs are allowing these hits to be done. But at the same time, the COs will do a lot of other things themselves too. That's the same place that 3 COs were arrested and it was said that they were part of the KKK, and they tried to put a hit on a black inmate. It's a fucked up spot. And a lot of y'all that's fans of the prison shit, oh, if he's if he's this and that, if he's got these charges, it's all good, kill him. We don't care that the COs are doing it. Everything has a double edge. There's a good and a bad, right? A yin and a yang. It's just like everyone that's saying, oh, why wouldn't you want cell phones and drugs inside of prison? If I was in prison, I mean, yeah, I can somewhat agree with that. But like I said, everything has a yin and a yang. If you have a dirty CO that's bringing in a phone, you don't think he's going to fuck you up too? You think that he's only dirty for your benefit? Nah. If somebody disrespects him, he's going to feel like a gangster. Or he's going to step to an inmate and pay that inmate that just paid him $1,500 for an iPhone. He's going to pay that inmate to go get you. And that inmate is going to send one of his little crash dummies, and now you're getting stabbed up off of the face of a CO. So when you have these COs that are green lighting sex offenders to get killed, you have these same COs green lighting whatever else they want, and it's gonna happen because that's how it works. We're getting the phones from you, we're getting the dope from you. You want a hit to get done, the hit gotta get done. That's how it is from gangs, whatever. That's literally how it goes. Everything has a double edge to it. So yeah, you can support these motherfuckers getting whacked, but they're not the only ones getting hit. They're not the only ones going through it. That's just not how it goes. And we're not like other states. Where in other states, the inmates seem to make those choices. The inmates decide who lives, who dies, what race, this, that. Florida isn't like that. Florida is 110% run by these COs. You're more likely to be killed by a CO than anyone else. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. These COs are deadly. When it comes back to the rape, a lot of these COs let it happen. We have the Prison Rape Elimination Act, PREA, right? PREA cases are taken serious. You get outside charges for things like this, but that does not stop the COs from letting these things happen. It does not stop the inmates from letting these things happen. And it's just a huge cycle of victimization. And you got a lot of these kids that get out with PTSD from being a victim, and they take it out, they lash out, whatever. They stop beating their girl when they get out. They get out, like I said, they spread the disease or whatever they got. But it's insane how many cases are popping up of staff members that are abusing the inmates, whether it's sexually, whether it's physically, especially within the women's prisons. Rape and sexual assault is through the roof. It's a fucked up reality of prison, but it's a reality that you have to understand. And it's a reality that you're gonna have to deal with if you make a choice that sends you to prison, because you got people in there, they'll fuck a snake hole. They don't give a fuck what it is. And if you look sweet, they're gonna come get that, and you gotta decide, do I kill him and never get out? Or do I become a victim? But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. Till next time.